The question I have, I say it at the beginning, if not, it has no sense, is that I feel that I am at an empty point in my life and in my understanding of the teaching. Just very small, I started to have contact with non-duality in the beginning of the 90s, followed or was in contact with Ramesh Balsekar for a short time or some years, had a deep understanding that the conditioned part cannot possibly exist.
A deep understanding that?
The conditioned part of us, the how you call it?
Yeah, I understand.
Conditioned cannot really exist. That's my understanding that I had, although it is here, of course, and in the way it is here. But anyway, at that moment, all my interest in non-duality dropped and non-duality disappeared. Now, 12 years ago, I got again in contact with non-duality, with the teacher, Elias Amidon, and I was again coming home. There was a big joy in understanding the teaching and it going deeper and deeper. And I did start on his invitation also to work with some people a little bit, how you, with very small groups that we meet and we do this. And I did that for 8 years or so, something like that. And then slowly, with some environmental events like sickness, the old, over 100-year-old mother, etc., that I told you, also sickness in my family, was time-wise the same. All my joy and my enthusiasm seemed like to die off. And also that is the question, what should I, also, what can you say about it? And I'm sitting here, hearing the teaching, being in the meditation, everything understood, but nothing touches me. And it's just like everything was empty. And I feel in a big change, maybe it has to do with age or something like this. And in the middle of something that I don't know, so maybe it's this thing that the old is not here anymore, but the new not here yet. And
perhaps you could hold the mic
I will hold
for him.
it now.
Yeah.
I hold it with both hands now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. And I'm sure maybe also, although I believe also other people might have experienced that this wave movement of interest and understanding and enthusiasm also, and also joy to be in meditation. You know, also this started to, yeah, meditating, why not, but also why. So, and I wanted to know if you have any advice that you might give me.
Michael, are you at peace in yourself?
Not totally. There are some aspects in my life that I'm not really in peace with, yes.
Yes, but in general, throughout your day,
I would say
do you feel, are you at peace? Are you at rest?
I think so. I mean, I'm here only for loving and helping. Also, not that I have to think about it. This is what I feel. Yeah. That the worth for what I'm here is helping, being good. Thank you. And yeah, compassion and all. And it's not I assure you, it's not that I have to think about it. How can I be compassionate? It really is just here. That is here, yes.
But the reason I ask if you're at peace most of the time is that it's true that when we first hear about, and I know you've been familiar with the non-dual understanding for many years, but when we first hear about non-duality. It's so exciting. It's so elating. We have every day some marvelous new breakthrough. And it's so. To begin with, we seem to live in or often experience this kind of heightened sense of
Reality.
understanding and appreciation and enthusiasm, and because it's in contrast with the old life of anxiety and sorrow, and suddenly now there are these periods where there's no sorrow and there's no anxiety. So, and it's elating, it's exciting, you're full of enthusiasm, you're talking about it all the time, you're reading about it all the time, you're watching YouTube, going to retreats, and it's exciting. But after a while, it becomes your natural state.
It is like this.
So it's not, you don't talk about it all the time. You don't think about it all the time. You maybe don't read books about it. You're not elated about it all the time. It's not a special experience because you've kind of almost lost the memory of the old sorrow and conflict and anxiety. So you no longer have that experience to contrast it with. It's just your natural ease of being. It's not bliss. It's peace. Or quiet joy, not ecstatic joy. There may be moments of exuberance, but that's why I often refer to more and more these days. I refer to quiet joy rather than happiness. Sometimes happiness feels like something bubbly and elated, and just quiet joy. Even that is too much. That's why I asked you if you were at peace, not whether you were happy.
But I am at peace.
Yes. You've heard me, I'm sure, before. I give the example of someone who's on a walking holiday, a camping trip, and they're walking all day long with 40-pound rucksack on their back, and then they get to the campsite in the evening, and you take off your rucksack, and for the first 2 or 3 minutes, you feel, goodness, you feel elated, you feel expanded, you feel light, you feel relieved of a burden. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, you're walking around the campsite in the same condition that you were in 1 minute after you took off the rucksack off, but you no longer feel elated, you no longer feel expanded, you no longer feel, it's just your natural condition, you feel normal. So it's a bit like that. That's why I asked you, not if you're elated, not if you're excited, not if you're ecstatic, but just, are you at peace? You're nothing special. Nothing to say very much about, unless somebody asks you. Just
Exactly.
this depth of peace, and you begin to. It's like I think this morning I referred to this kind of gravity well of peace in you. I borrow that phrase from the poet David White. I borrow the phrase, the gravity well. It's a beautiful phrase. I borrowed it from David White. This you feel you have a sort of well of peace in you. It's nothing special, but it disturbs you more and more throughout the day. It calls you back throughout the day, and you just feel you have this. It's like an ocean of peace in you. It's not special. It's just your natural quiet. It's your natural condition. So, why am I saying all this? Is that what I intuit is that you're contrasting your current condition with a few years ago when you felt a bit more ecstatic, when non-duality was so exciting, so fresh, so new. You wanted to talk to everybody about it, and I never talk about non-duality apart from on retreats. Kiri and I never talk about non-duality together. Well, it's not quite true, but very rare. When we're sitting having breakfast, we're not talking about non-duality. When we're going for a walk, and having thought intensely about these matters for 40 years, read voraciously about them, I don't think about it very much now. I rarely read. I do read, but very small amounts, just some of my favorite. But I've thought about it all for so long, over and over and over again. There's nothing else left to think about. Unless I'm asked a question, or if I'm writing something. So I do still think about it, but that intensity that I had for those 40 years, it's kind of quietened down.
Yeah.
And in a way, my life is much simpler. It's just gone back to simplicity and peace.
Now, while you talk, this is very helpful, what you're telling me. Thank you. And I realized that one of the things that happened a half year ago when we were here, and there was a moment also where I realized that beingness is beingness and has nothing so not there is a part of me who is a being and there's a part of me who is not a being or something like this. It's all the same. My infinite being and my conditioned being is just being.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really sank in
Yeah.
it. And it's like since then, the feeling of joy in this quiet peace has diminished. And what I understood is that I had this expectation of this feeling of joy. And thank you very much.
Yeah.